This video is an introduction to graphing. So far, most of what we have done has involved only one variable, usually x, and any graphing we've done has been on a number line. But now it's time to introduce another variable, y, and to graph in 2 dimensions. To do this, we use the coordinate plane. Oops. There we go. Okay. So the coordinate plane has an x-axis, which is horizontal. That means it goes from left to right, and a y-axis, which is vertical, going up and down, that are labeled with positive and negative numbers. Think of them as 2 number lines. The 2 axes intersect at the origin, this point right here, and these axes divide the coordinate plane into 4 regions called quadrants. And I'm going to go ahead and label them up here for you. So in the upper right hand corner here, this is quadrant 1, and we represent that with the Roman numeral 1. In this quadrant, all of our x values are positive and all of our y values are positive. Now we move counterclockwise. This is quadrant 2, and you'll notice all of my x's are negative and my y's are positive. This down here is quadrant 3, and you'll notice that both x and y are negative. And this would be quadrant 4. And you'll notice that my x values are positive and my y values are negative. To indicate a position on the coordinate plane, we use something called an ordered pair. So that's an x and a y, which are going to be 2 numbers, in parentheses divided by a comma. The x-coordinate of the ordered pair, that's the number that comes first, indicates its position horizontally, that is the same direction as the x-axis. The y-coordinate, which is going to be the second number, indicates the position of the point vertically, the same direction as the y-axis, or up or down. So let's try a couple problems here, a couple points. Let's plot each of the following points on the coordinate plane below. So my first point is point A, and often we'll label a point with an uppercase printed letter. So this is the point 2, 3. So my x-coordinate is 2, and my y-coordinate is 3. So that means I'm going to be 2 units in the positive x direction from the origin, and then 3 units in the positive y direction. So that right there is going to be my point A, and I can label it like that. Point B has an x-coordinate of -4 and a y-coordinate of 1. So I'm going to go -4 in the x direction, and my y is positive, 1 up 1. So there's the point, -4, 1, and I'll label that B. C is -5, -3. So x is -5, y is -3. So that right there is going to be my point C. Now these last 2 are a little tricky because you'll notice we have zeros. So my x-coordinate of point D, my x-coordinate is 3. So that would mean I'd go 3 on the x-axis, positive 3. But then my y is 0, so I don't go up or down, I just stay right there. So that's going to be the point 3, 0. And then point E, starting at the origin, I don't move left or right because my x is 0. I only move down 4, and that's going to be my point 0, -2. A line on the coordinate plane demonstrates a relationship between x and y. This relationship is expressed as a linear equation. For example, the equation y equals 3x means that every y value is 3 times as much as every x value. So for example, when x is 1, we would put 1 in here for x, and we would have that y equals 3 times 1, or y is equal to 3. This gives us the ordered pair 1, 3. When x is 1, y is 3. When x is 2, y is equal to 3 times 2, which is 6. This gives us the ordered pair 2, 6. So let's go ahead and graph those on the graph here. So the ordered pair 1, 3 is right here. The ordered pair 2, 6 would be right there. And then if I were to draw this line, it would look something like this. Every point on this line, and I didn't quite get it very good, every point on this line represents the relationship y equals y equals 3x. because the value of y depends on the value of x, y is called the dependent variable and x is called the independent variable. I can most of the time choose whatever value I want x to be, and then something's going to happen to that. In the previous case it was multiplied by 3, and that gives me my y value. So whatever I get for y depends on what I put in for x. So let's take a look at our last example here. I'm going to ask you to find 4 points that satisfy the equation x plus y equals 2, and then we're going to graph the points and the line that passes through those. So I need to think of some ordered pairs, some x's and y's, that when I add the two of them they equal 2. Well, the first one that comes to mind is probably the most simple. 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay, I could also do some with zeros. If x is 0, then y has to be 2. Remember, these two numbers have to add up to 2. I can do the reverse of those. I can do 2 comma 0, because when x is 2, y is 0, and that equals 2. And then that's kind of about it for easy. What if x is negative 1? If x is negative 1, then y has to be 3. So let's go ahead and graph those points. So I have the point 1, 1. I have the point 0, 2. I have the point 2, 0. And then the point negative 1, 3. And there's the line that passes through those points. So in this video we took a look at an introduction to graphing. We looked at the coordinate plane, the axes, the origin, reviewed how to plot points on the coordinate plane, and then talked a little bit about linear equations and what that means in terms of x and y and all of the points that would satisfy those equations and how they lie on a line.